Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Samantha K Experience, and I am your host, Samantha K. This is a special edition of the show, the New Year's Day edition. I originally was going to post the episode on New Year's Eve, but unfortunately I got too busy and I wasn't able to do so. But I said the next best thing was to do it on New Year's Day, and I'm coming to you guys live in full effect. And I'm just hoping that you guys are okay and have a wonderful New Year's Day. And if you guys had, parties or whatever, I know that, with the restrictions and everything, some of us can't really party like we really want to. But I'm hoping that, we sat down with a little bit of bubbly and we just, watched the New Year's ball drop. That sounds so weird saying it out loud, but, it is what it is. But yeah, guys, I am so happy to be bringing this show today. And I just wanted to tell you guys that I had an update on some stuff that I had reviewed on the previous show. I didn't get the chance to review it, I should say. There was a movie that I did watch a few days ago called Extraction. It's starring Chris Hemsworth, Thor from the Avengers movies. And I'm sure he's done pretty much a lot of other movies, but that role is pretty much what he's predominantly known for, playing Thor in the Avengers movies and also his standalone movies as well. And Extraction is a really good movie. Like, he plays like this, I believe he's a mercenary, and he's in this Middle Eastern country, and I'm sorry, I can't really remember the name of it, but he's supposed to go with his team to extract this young man who's like caught in the middle of this war in the country. And you have like this guy who's I believe he's a drug dealer, and he's trying to take over the territory that belongs to the little boy's father, because the father is, I believe, in prison. So he hired people to extract his son. And the problem is, like, there's like a betrayal there, and the father sends like this other mercenary guy to try to take his son and pretty much eliminate everybody else. And then it's a major spoiler alert that the guy and Chris Hemsworth's character, I believe his name is Rake, they end up working together because at this point in time the cops are like pretty much after them and want to kill this kid, or at least capture the kid to hold leverage over the dad. So Chris Hemsworth, I guess his boss was like, you gotta just leave the kid, this isn't worth it, everybody on your team is dead, just come back, we got you. And he was like, no, this is a mission, I have to complete the mission. He's all about the mission. And he goes against this kid, and it's a really good movie. Like, it's very like action packed. There's a lot of scenes in there that will make you kind of laugh and stuff. Like, there was a scene where he and the guy are fighting in the street, and then Chris, I believe, gets hit with a truck, and he gets hit with a truck, and it's so sudden because the streets are so small. And you just have these two guys fighting, going back and forth, and there's a crowd, and there's a lot of people running and all this other stuff in different directions. So the scene is really chaotic. And then you have like this truck comes out of nowhere, and just this car, I believe, he gets hit by a car, and he just goes boom off screen. And it's so funny, it's so hilarious that you guys have to watch the movie. It's pretty good, and like most of the films that have been coming out on Netflix, it has a tendency to leave things open for another sequel. And sure enough, I believe that the movie actually has an upcoming sequel, because I also read somewhere in an article that shortly after the movie had came out that there's going to be a sequel to it. I don't know when the sequel is going to happen, because I know a lot of companies, a lot of filming companies are still battling with this whole the pandemic. So I'm guessing they're trying to work around schedules, since a lot of things have been delayed due to the pandemic. So just keep that in mind. I don't know. I'm looking maybe a 2021 release of Extraction, or maybe 2022, depending. As if Mr. Hemsworth, doesn't have any other obligations at this point in time. But overall, it's a good movie. I suggest you guys go watch it when you have time. Extraction is really good. And, it's really good to see, him do other things outside of, the MCU. Not to say that the MCU is a bad thing, but sometimes people worry about when they're playing a role for a certain amount of time that, hey, they might be typecast and then they can't do other things. But I'm just glad to see that, he's doing something outside of the Avengers and just MCU period. And it's a really good movie. So, like I said, you guys go watch it and you can judge for yourself and let me know what you think about the movie. On the other front, on my readings of the Webtoons series, I have an update. I finally finished Assassin Roommate season 5 literally last night at 9:00 p.m. I was really so invested in reading the chapters that I was like, listen, it's about to be New Year's Day. I want to make sure I get this stuff done. And I wasn't rushing because of the fact of a deadline or anything like that, but I was just like, this series has gotten me hooked because of the fact that there's so much going on. There's so much, there's so many characters, and a lot of things are interwoven with these characters. Like I mentioned before, I believe in my first episode, that you have this girl named Mags, or Maggie for short, whatever. You want to call her Margaret. She's an assassin. She's a plus size girl. She has the freckles, so she doesn't fit the archetype of what a assassin or a spy looks like. You have she's a very stark contrast to people like James Bond, who's tall, dark, and handsome, and and full of swag. Where she just likes to chill, talk to her best friend Jamie, and manage a sort of life outside of being an assassin. So it's one of those things that it's a combination of lightheartedness and seriousness at the same time. She's dating this guy named Kurt. He's Asian, and that's so the aspect of having an interracial couple or intercultural couple. And then there's also a lot of how can I put this? It's a lot of characters that are pretty much, they're intertwined with each other. It's a really crazy story. And it left on a cliffhanger because Maggie, her father, her aunt, and her half-brother end up leaving the place that they're living, and they're on the run because her great aunt, believe her name is Naima. I think that's how they pronounce it. I believe it's an Irish name. She's coming to take over one of the companies, the organizations. I believe it's called Dagda, and she's taking it away from her niece, Bridget, who's Maggie's aunt. And so the four of them are now on the run. Unfortunately, they left Kurt behind because the choice that Bridget made by shooting a sleeping dart at him. And now it's left where Kurt tells Jamie, Jason, who was a former love interest of Maggie, and Jamie's other friend Clover, they all three work in a separate organization called the RNS. It's a female-led organization. So basically, he runs in and he tells them, and Gwen, who's a love interest of Jamie's. It's really it's kind of convoluted, but if you pay close attention to what's going on, you're gonna catch it. So, and it's a lot of cliffhangers, like, oh my god, what just happened type of story. But it ends with him running to tell the other four that Mags has been disappeared or kidnapped, and it's basically up to them to try to go and find out what's happening. And the author, Monica Gallagher, not Maggie. Maggie's the name of the character, but Monica Gallagher pretty much left it as a cliffhanger, and she's gonna eventually probably come back to working on Assassin Roommate. I don't know if it's still going to be in a capacity on Webtoons or is it going to be on a different platform, so to speak. But I did remember in her Q&A episode that she put up that the first book on Assassin Roommate is in the works. I believe it might be in the works already, or if it's completed. I have to go and do some more research on that, and I'll get back to you guys on that. But overall, it was a really good story. I liked it a lot, and it kind of it felt like I wanted to know more about the story and get to find out, like, hey, where are these guys going? Like, what's going to happen? Is she and Kurt going to end up being back together? Like, what's going to happen? And there is, I must say, there is a spoiler. There is a death in the episode, like in the chapter. There is a death that occurs. So now we're trying to figure out, like, what's going to happen as a result of that. So, with that being said, like, I'm happy that I finally completed it. It took me a while because I ended up doing other things, and I just got involved in different projects and stuff like that. But I'm really happy that I finally got to finish it, and I'm going to work on completing Death of a Pop Star and Nice to Meet You when those episodes come up by their respective authors. I also wanted to say that I have another review coming up, and it's based off of a book. It's a part of a collection. It's from the Silver Springs library. It's a collection of stories told by different women who live in this town called Silver Springs. It has a lot of what they call soups. A lot of people have supernatural powers. They could be werewolves, they could be witches, there could be just a plethora of different supernatural beings, entities. So I'm reading Hanley Bradley's novels based off of her character in the collection called Lupin. And Lupin is like a werewolf shapeshifter who runs a orphanage in Silver Springs, and she took it over from the predecessor, who has since passed on. And she has taken all these kids who have supernatural powers that can actually turn into different animals. There's a pair of sisters that she calls, quote unquote, the evil twins, that they're clairvoyants, that they could read people's thoughts, they're psychic. And she's dealing with a lot of the kids running around and stuff like that, and taking on a baby. She meets these mafia guys who move into the town, and long story short, that they tell her that she's a wolf princess and she's head of this clan, and if she ever has a child, she can bring both the mafia clans together, although there is some resistance on the other clan's part because they're out to kill her. I believe the clan's name is Rossi, but then it's weird because it's a paranormal romance and it's also a reverse harem, and she ends up courting like 4 guys from the Cortez family where she's from, and the Rossi from, the head of the Rossi family from the other side. And there's a lot of conflict in the beginning, but I believe it kind of sort of thins out. And the second book was when you meet the Rossi guy. He's kind of attractive from the description of the book. He's Italian, and pretty hot, kind of a hothead. He also, I'm reading the third or fourth installment. I think this is the fourth installment. It's where Enzo Rossi, who's the guy that she's now courting with, he doesn't like Christmas, so I'm reading his Christmas story. It's called Lupin Bah Humbug. I'm supposed to do a review on that. Actually, he was due already, but I'm hoping to finish read the book and have the review out by no later than today. And then next episode, I will give you guys my update on the review, which I will post on my blog. And I'll also post a link to the blog on my page. So that's it, guys. That's it. That's all I have for an update so far. If you guys would like to follow me, I can be found on Instagram and Twitter at Samantha EXP218 on both Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook by typing in the Samantha K Experience. And you can also find me here on Anchor FM on the Samantha K Experience podcast. Just type in Samantha K EXP218 on the podcast, and I'm sure you guys could find me here. And I believe I have one more. Oh, guys, if you want to contact me by email, you can contact me by samanthakp82@gmail.com. So if you guys have any questions, anything you want for me to review, you can follow me there, or you could send me an email. You can send me an email there at samanthakp82@gmail.com. Also, Instagram, Twitter, Samantha K EXP Samantha K EXP218. It's a lot. It's a tongue twister. Samantha K EXP218 on Twitter and Instagram, and the Samantha K Experience blog on Facebook, and the actual blog itself is the Samantha K Experience.blogspot.com. So yes, finally I got to tell you guys about the blog itself. The blog is very active. The most recent thing I talk about is the previous episode with the passing of Brodie Lee, the professional wrestler from AEW and WWE. I will also have an update on episode 3 about the tribute episode that both WWE and the AEW has done for Mr. John Huber. So, with that being said, guys, you have my contacts, and I'm out. Happy New Year, guys. Happy 2021. Bye.